What's up, people? Pizowell here, and today I want to talk to you about 1999's 8mm, as requested by Movie Club member Nick Santiago over on my Patreon. And 8mm stars Nicolas Cage as Tom Wells, a private detective who's been hired by a wealthy widow to determine the legitimacy of an 8mm film discovered in her late husband's belongings. The film appears to show a young woman being murdered. Cage soon finds himself in way over his head and mixed up with some seedy and serious characters in the world of underground pornography. Now, I remember the hype surrounding 8mm shortly before its release. One of my local theaters at the time actually posted a disclaimer at the box office warning parents of the film's graphic nature and insisting that no one under the age of 18 would be permitted to see the film. While all the hubbub certainly piqued my interest in 8mm, I remember thinking at the time, come on, really? I mean, the movie's rated R. How graphic can it be? And the thing about 8mm that gets under your skin, or at least gets under my skin, has nothing to do with the graphic nature of the film. From my understanding, 8mm was originally given an NC-17 rating by the MPAA, and the film had to be submitted several times before it eventually got its R rating. The original screenplay by Andrew Kevin Walker was apparently far more graphic in nature and had to be toned down, resulting in him disowning the film. The thing that gets under my skin about 8mm is the grim tone. The world 8mm presents is one inhabited by perverts, opportunists, abusers, and those who perform evil acts simply because they can, either because they can afford it or because they simply like it. And 8mm seems to say that the only way to confront and overcome this evil is to stare it down until you become an even greater evil, which comes at a heavy cost. To me, this is far more a taboo premise than anything related to pornography, although those moments in the film are pretty gross. Cage's arc from cool, calm, and collected family man to broken and crazed vigilante is quite impressive. His journeys through seedy underground tape traders and back alley amateur pornographers to find the hardest of the hardcore provide some pretty disgusting results. And though I'm sure it's all highly dramatized for the purposes of the movie, you get the sense that pre-internet, these kinds of marketplaces peddling wares both barely legal and highly illegal existed. Cage's performance is restrained here for the most part. I know what you're thinking, a restrained Nicolas Cage? Yeah, right. But when he eventually goes off in 8mm, it means something, and those actions resonate in his haunted eyes from there on. 8mm sports a fantastic supporting cast, including Joaquin Phoenix as Max California, a punk rocker working in an adult bookstore until his music career takes off. He supplies the movie with some much-needed moments of levity and some nice dialogue, such as, "You dance with the devil don't change, the devil changes you." Peter Stormare delivers an effectively icky performance as Dino Velvet, the quote-unquote Jim Jarmusch of porn, though I imagine Jarmusch may not have appreciated that little shout-out. Catherine Keener and the late James Gandolfini round out a great supporting cast. The late director Joel Schumacher creates a bleak but stylish patina to nearly every frame in 8mm, even providing the sunlit Miami locations with a dreary seediness. Joel Schumacher was a much better filmmaker than he was given credit for. He manages to create some nice tension in the last act of the film when Cage tracks down the young girl's killer, and a game of cat and mouse ensue between the two inside the killer's home. A standout moment occurs when Cage confronts James Gandolfini's character at the scene of the crime regarding his role in the young woman's death. Gandolfini is both remorseless and yet at the same time welcoming of death at Cage's hands. Cage, on the other hand, performs a kind of cleansing of himself by killing Gandolfini after calling the dead girl's mother and practically begging her for approval to take vengeance. 8mm isn't a movie that I revisit very often, but I was glad to see that Nick recommended it for a review. It's a heavy movie, one that in no way would be made by a major studio today. I dig the performances, Joel Schumacher's direction, the grim atmosphere, and the finale always leaves me with goosebumps. If you haven't seen 8mm, I highly recommend it. Shout out to Movie Club member Nick Santiago for recommending that I review 8mm. Thank you for your recommendation, and thank you for being a patron. I appreciate your support. If you'd like to have a say in what movies I review on this channel, follow the link in the description or head over to patreon.com/Pizowell and join the Movie Club today. If you've seen 8mm, please let me know your thoughts on the film down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. A big thank you to all my awesome Patreon supporters. I appreciate your generosity and support of my channel. Become a patron today and join me for monthly live streams and have a say in what movies I review on my channel. Patreon.com/pizowell or follow the link in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.